No, I won't be buying the 4-pack. I have no intention on building the clown suit. Hello and welcome back to another Plamo review. Today we're taking a look at the heavy metal A.TAUL from L-GAIM. Okay, and starting off with the articulation as always. The head is on a ball joint. Can't really look back at all, but it can look down slightly. And can actually rotate pretty decently to either side. Shoulders are on a peg, so forward and back and rotation. No real wiggle there. This is actually a separate piece, so you get a little tiny bit of up and down there. Shoulder can go out about just under 90 degrees, though as you can see the hoses kind of drag the arm back down a little bit. Can get a full rotation, though the hoses get in the way of that. You get about a 90 degree bend at the elbow, just under, but not too big a deal. And the hands, as always, are on a ball joint. Also, quickly, the verniers, the top one hinges up and down, and the two on the sides are ball jointed. Now, pretty much all the joints from the waist down are new, so you get a ball joint and as well as a slight side-to-side hinge, so you get a really nice movement either way, nice crunch, and of course a pretty much full rotation there. The front skirt, you want to call it, is on a peg, so it can rotate side to side and hinge up and down a little bit. Same with the back skirt, though given how big it is, you're not getting a ton of movement there. The new hips have a peg rotation, as well as the same ball joint that the old ones have, so you can get pretty much a full kick, which is nice. Not a ton out to the side. If you do, it starts pulling the joint out. The knees are double jointed and get just above 90 degrees. Not a ton of range there, but it does help that this is hinged, so it makes the joint look a little bit more natural. The ankles don't get a ton of movement. You can sort of rock them side to side and forward and back a little bit, but there's nothing crazy going on there. The toes can be hinged down slightly, and the back stabilizers are ball jointed, so you get quite a wiggle out of them. Personally, I kind of feel like they could have just put them on hinges, but hey, I'm not going to complain. So despite the old articulation still being a little bit limited, the changes they made pretty much fixed this kit. Really, the only thing I think they could have improved on more is the neck, which is not that big a deal. Now, starting off with the accessories, let's get into it with the sticker sheet and, by extension, color correction. You'll see these cuts here. That's because I actually trimmed the symbols on the shoulders. These actually are the stickers. I just cut the extra off of them. And honestly, it's not that hard, and it looks pretty good. So, yeah, if you're going to just use the stickers, just trim them. You do get the funny clown ones too. I have no intention on using these, but they are included, so gotta point that out. And aside from the symbols on the shoulders, the paint is actually really minimal. It's pretty much just black inside these verniers, and the ones on the ends of these too, the gray on the inside of the shields, and the red on the hoses of the new knee pieces. It should be pointed out that the old one had the hoses as separate pieces, but they weren't show accurate. Besides that, the only thing that needs to be painted is the laser sword hilt. Granted, it comes in two pieces, one being attached to the hand, and the other being attached to the actual beam. One slight problem with that is the beam is exceptionally short. It doesn't look too bad because of how long the handle is. In the hand, it looks fine, but yeah, you compare it to, say, the new Beam Saber effect piece, which is even longer, and yeah, it's pretty short. They do actually give you another one of these that has a whatever millimeter this is hole in it. However, there's a peg on it, and it's for the other one, and the little spike here is a lot smaller. Granted, if you don't really care about that being specifically accurate, you could always just shave off the peg and use that one. I do care, so unfortunately I'm not doing that. And technically, that's all the accessories, aside from the open hands that are currently on the kit. However, I do want to quickly point out that the new hips are compatible with an action-based cradle, I don't know why they didn't just include a new piece, but you can just shove that in there and it can stay up on an action base, which is nice. However, I do want to point out that there are a lot of extra parts on the runner. Aside from the old joint pieces back here, you get a lot of parts specifically for the McTomin version of this, otherwise known as the clown one, as I've been referring to it, including a bunch of extra beams, a different eye, a different front skirt, different toe pieces, which have to be painted to be color correct, as well as the entire shield that just isn't used. And as for a quick size comparison, the A.TAUL is even taller than the L-GAIM. Yeah, again, I don't normally do this, but to really get a sense of the scale of this, it's pretty tall. Given the price, this is a very large suit. So, to wrap this review up, I really like the A.TAUL. I really like the pilot, but this is one of my favorite heavy metal designs, and I'm very happy to have a kit of it, finally. Plus, the changes they made with the new joints really do improve this. The hips especially make it a way better kit. But the color correction is pretty minimal. The seam lines are really good, honestly. You can barely see them. One thing I do want to point out, all the dark gray parts I gave a matte top coat. Normally they have, you know, the regular plastic sheen, which doesn't look bad or anything, but yeah, I do want to be transparent that I did top coat those parts. But yeah, if you were wondering if this was improved enough to be worth it, absolutely. If you're going to pick up any of these heavy metals, and if you don't really like the L-GAIM, I would recommend this one the most. Anyway, that's all for this review. Be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, helps a lot. Subscribe and hit the bell for future reviews. Go follow me on Twitter for updates, and consider supporting me on Patreon so I can keep making reviews just like this one. And as always, until next time, happy building.